welcome to another episode of Treasure Corals. Today is going to be a fish edition. I just added a couple of fish and figured this would be a good day to document all of the fish that I have in the tank and maybe talk a little bit about each one of them. So let's start with the beginning. This is a mixed reef. It's only 3 months old, maybe a little bit more, and I'm reusing a lot of media from my previous tank, so it's pretty much cycled. And if you go back in history, you'll see that it has been stocked with a lot of fish right from the get-go. There's maybe another 3-4 fish that I've introduced in the past month or so, and those are some big ones, but the rest of them have been with me for a very long time. And I want to maybe start with the new edition. So this new edition you can see right over here. This guy is starting to be one of my absolute favorite fish. This is a Sohal tang. And for anybody who's kind of wondering, this is actually a 7-foot aquarium. The total water volume is 340 gallons, and we'll see. This is actually a very juvenile fish. He will probably be here for, I want to say, at least 2, 3, 4 years, and then I'll have to figure out another much larger tank for him. But right now, I've always wanted this fish, and I finally was able to get him. I'm super excited. This is a fish that really I really saw it in quite a few other big aquariums, and one of the reasons I kind of wanted a big tank was to be able to have fish like that. Now, speaking of large fish, this Naso tang has been with me for probably 5 years, and he definitely outgrew the 5-footer aquarium that I had before that. Like, he was kind of really not moving around much, but here he is. I think he's enjoying himself very nicely. So as I'm talking about fish, maybe I should say a little bit about what their temperament is like and just kind of my experience with it. So Sohal tang, I don't know too much. I've heard some horror stories about him being super large and super aggressive and just breaking corals and all of that stuff, but I did not experience this so far. He's been very timid. I got him from a reputable dealer, and he, I think, came from somebody else's tank, so he is just a model citizen. There's one more fish that I'm going to be adding soon, but I'll talk about this towards the end of the video. So overall, very nice. He's a typical surgeon fish, so a tang. You can see he's got little red scalpels or orange scalpels in the tail, and this is why they're called surgeon fish, because they have those blades. And all of the tanks, this guy, like, they all have those blades, and they can cut you if you are not careful. So that's why they're called surgeon fish. But awesome fish, and he is primarily an herbivore, but he does not discriminate. So let's move on to the Naso. Naso is definitely one of my absolute favorite fish. He is, just stunning color. He changes color in the daylight versus kind of a different other spectrum, and just gorgeous fish. Super docile, very friendly. I've never seen him act out against anybody, and overall he has been just a sweetheart. So beautiful fish. I think I'm going to keep him here in this tank for the next year or so until he gets too large, but so far I think he's very happy in this tank. Now, speaking of another fish that I have a soft spot for is this Desjardins sailfin tank. So there's 2 types of sailfins. There's the regular and the Desjardins. I kind of like both, but This guy just, I like that coloration. He's got an incredible kind of gem tang like face, and he's got those orange stripes. It's just a gorgeous fish. Also super friendly. I've never had him go after anybody or like big battles, and he's one of the biggest fish in this tank right now. Now let's talk about the this power couple, the purple tank and the yellow tank. So yellow tank first. I think I've had this guy for maybe 3-4 years, and when I was getting my tanks early on in the hobby, they were very reasonably priced. They were like, you could get one for $40. Unfortunately, this is no longer the case. It's been probably 5-6 years since I've ever bought one. So I got my last tank before the prices went up like no tomorrow. Right now, like, I mean, you can easily pay $200-300 for those. Look at those blades on his tail, and you see those white ones. So this is how they will cut you. But yeah, perfect fish, super friendly as well. He's a great worker when it comes to going after all the algae. So just highly recommend him. And right next to him is a purple tank. So the purple tank is kind of the same fish, but I think it's a Zebrasoma family, but he's just a different coloration, and they seem to get along quite nicely together. Purple tank, again, I heard some horror stories about them being super territorial and whatnot, but I've never seen any aggression from this guy. So keep in mind, this is a large tank, but I've moved this one from a 4-footer, and he has been a model citizen in that tank as well. All right, let's keep covering tangs. This is another pair, and so we've got two dories, the blue tang, right over here. So you've got these guys. They are awesome. They're super friendly again, very shy. A lot of times when, I've had them in many different aquariums, and sometimes when you go when you come up to the tank, they may freak out and they will go under rock, just pretend, or lie down and just hope that you won't notice them and you would go away. So awesome fish. Really like them, and they have an amazing personality. Like, they like to blow bubbles, they like to move around. Just gorgeous fish. Look at what this guy's doing. He just comes up and down, up and down. I don't know what's happening there, but yes. Not quite going in the order of size, but I want to go a little bit smaller now. This is the whitetail bristle tang. And this is probably the most expensive fish that I have. He's been with me for, I want to say, 3 years. I got him, and he was in my 4-foot aquarium, which was awesome. And he grew to be one of my absolute favorite fish. Yeah, just look at that coloration. It's probably one of the reasons. You've got the yellow eyes, you've got that chevron kind of style red body. He is just gorgeous, and he's a great worker. So again, awesome fish. I want to say he's one of my favorite, but yeah, like everybody in this tank is one of my favorite fish. Now, let's talk about another controversial couple. Now, speaking of my favorite fish, and many of you who've been following this tank or this channel for years know my love towards the powder blue tang. It's one of if I were to just kind of say what is my absolute favorite fish, I would say it's him, the powder blue. He is super hard to keep if you're a beginner. And you see, we've got him, and we've got the powder brown right behind him. So let's talk a little bit about the powder blue. So you see how soft and smooth his skin is. So that skin is an ick magnet. He's just gonna very easily break out in ick, and he will cause, well, he can easily die. And before I kind of figured out how to keep them, I went through a lot of the powder blues, but I think now I got a hang of how to feed them, how to take care of them, and also more importantly how to pick a healthy specimen, because if you are getting a specimen that is malnourished or has other issues, you're already kind of have your odds stacked against you. But look, this guy is super healthy and he is quite fat, and my goal is to really fatten up this aquarium. Now, this is his brethren. This is the powder brown tang, and look at the coloration on this guy. So he is awesome. Usually it's very much inadvisable to keep both of them in the tank. My buddy Felix kind of did that, and I always want to try. I like this guy as well very much, and I've introduced them both. This is a very large aquarium. That's the only reason why they kind of are okay. But even right now, they kind of squabble once in a while, but not to the point where it's an issue. So just once in a while, one of them is going to go, well, usually it's powder blue, it's going to go after powder brown, just kind of show him who's the boss. I'm keeping an eye on their interaction, and should there be more aggression, I will address it. So I think this is it for the tangs. I can't think of anybody else here. There will be another tang that I will be introducing into this aquarium, and that will be the clown tang. I took the previous one out, and I have a replacement. It's a bigger clown tang that right now is just going through quarantine, making sure that he is nice and healthy and he's eating everything before I'm going to introduce him here. But that would be it when it comes to tangs. Maybe I'll introduce an orange shoulder, but I think this is it. This is where I'm drawing the line. Now, moving on to other types of fish, the Anthias, they are incredible. I've had them for many, many years, and this is the leery tail or blue-eyed Anthias. This is probably the easiest Anthias to keep. You don't need to necessarily worry about feeding it 10 times a day. I feed my tank a lot and frequent, but I think this is the kind of the easiest ones. So highly recommend if you are okay with feeding them frequently, but not super frequently. And they are awesome addition, and I think I'm going to add more. Right now I think I have about 3 or 4 of them, but there will probably be more in the future. And there's another one right here who is, I think, from the different batch. This guy has been with me for a very long time. I think this can be an 8-year-old fish. Right behind him there is a pair of royal gramma. Again, one of my favorite fish, one of the first fish I've ever gotten in this hobby. They are awesome. I've had one, so the big one I think I had for close to 10 years. Look how old and kind of just miscolored he is. I've had him for a very long time, and I've introduced a second royal gramma. Yeah, look at that skin. Look at that scale. Like, this is just, it's an old mature fish. And there is the second fish that I've introduced, and they kind of hit it off. I don't know if they're necessarily a pair. Look how much bigger this guy is. But they're awesome. They can kind of swim upside down. Like, they're all very, very nice fish, and they're a little bit shy, but whenever they come out, it's always great. So definitely an fairly easy fish, and I can't imagine an aquarium without a fish like that. Now moving on to Wrasses. This is the banana wrasse or chorus wrasse. I love those guys. It's a splash of yellow, gorgeous fish, very fast. It sleeps in the sand, so you want to make sure that there's enough scent in the aquarium. But they're great. This is the a wrasse family. So read up on that. If you want to go Wrasses, probably should be your #1 wrasse in my opinion. I do have in my Waterbox, I have this lid, which is one of the reasons I'm not too worried about things jumping. Now, this is another wrasse that I've just introduced. I think it's the I don't remember the name, the red line or was something, but he's awesome. I've never had him before, and so far I really like him. He is kind of red. He's similar to Melanurus, which hopefully we'll be able to see in the tank as well. But you know, nice, just moves around, has great personality. Okay, let's see if we can find the Melanurus wrasse, because I did introduce him about a month ago, but for whatever reason, I think he's just not coming out. If we see him, I'll let you know. But speaking of wrasses, there's another wrasse right here. This is the cleaner wrasse. The cleaner wrasse, there's different varieties. Some have more yellow of a head, but they are cleaner. They will go after fish, and if there's anything on the skin, they'll try to kind of eat it off. So it actually is a very useful fish to have in aquarium, and gorgeous fish, one of my absolute favorite. Now we've got a damsel. Now there's many different damsels. I've always, a good friend of mine told me to just kind of always try to go for this Azurus ones, the ones with the yellow belly, and they are super timid. I've never had a single act of an aggression that I've witnessed from them. So this is probably my number one go-to when it comes to a damsel fish. Now, this is an angelfish. It's a flame angel. I've had him for a couple of years now, and he is awesome. He's sometimes a little bit shy, and with the angelfish, they may peck at coral, but this guy has been great, and I have pretty decent polyp extension in my corals, so I'm not too worried. And yeah, he is awesome. At some point, maybe we'll introduce a second kind of reef-safe angel, which is going to be the Coral Beauty. But so far, Flame has been great. Okay, what else have we got? We will talk about this addition. So I've tried a goby for forever, and because I didn't have the lid, those guys would eventually jump, sometimes very frequently, and that's why I never really introduced them in my previous aquarium, so I never kept them. But this tank has a lid, and I've just added one fish, and look at how good of a job he does with the sand. Like, he just keeps everything pretty much pristine. Love this guy. Don't mix him with any other, or don't mistake him with any other goby, because there's certain gobies, sleeper gobies, that will put the sand on other coral and just kind of make a mess of it. But this guy, the one that you see here with this orange kind of diamond shapes on his sides, this guy is a model citizen. Look at that. He just picks it up, cleans it, and kind of spits it out, or gets them through his gills. Love this fish. Probably one of my favorite fish, but he's actually very useful. So he is a great addition, and I highly, highly recommend him. Okay, what else have we got? Speaking of smaller fish, we have another fish that I have introduced, which is the Lawnmower blenny, which is, look at me hunting for him. Why am I hunting for the fish? Because he actually has this coloration that is not easy to notice. I didn't notice him. Oh, right, he was right there a second ago. I saw his tail, but he's just kind of behind this rock. Oh, here he is. Here he comes. Look at this guy. This is the Lawnmower blenny. Look at that beautiful, beautiful fish. Just kind of hiding, but he's very curious. He likes to sit and perch on one of the rocks and just kind of look at everybody, but he's also great at eating algae, and he's nice and fat. Great fish. I am very happy with that addition. That, I think, I do have a mandarin fish in here as well, but good luck finding him. He is not going to be easy to find. I do have a couple of shrimp that I've introduced. There's two blood shrimp. I can see only one of them. Mandarin is going to be very hard to find. Let's maybe peek behind this rock. So, oh, I have these symbiotic relationship going with the anemones and 2 clown tanks. So I had those clowns for many years now. They are awesome. This is the girl, the bigger one, and then the smaller one is the boy. And in my opinion, any tank they always need to have a pair of clownfish, especially if you have the anemone. Like, just it's a must. But it's not easy to get them going to the anemone because this is not their natural habitat. They usually go in much bigger anemones, but with a little bit of luck and some training, you can get them host in the bubble tip. There we can actually see both of the shrimp, the blood shrimp, come out and just kind of on that perch. I also have a pair of boxer shrimp, but once I've introduced them, I've never seen them. Oh, here is the, let's see if we can get them. This is the mandarin. Okay, we've got the whole roster of fish. The only one I couldn't find today is the Melanurus wrasse. I'm not sure why. I hope he's all right, but everybody else has been accounted for. So that is my quick little update on my fish for June 2024. I'll do one maybe a year from now, just kind of talk about some of the changes. So stay tuned for the next summer update. But the fish that I want to add is a clown tang. So I love that fish. I really wanted to have it in this aquarium. It's a very large aquarium, so I think I will be able to get away with it. And the only, well, and then I've got a parrotfish that I'm really thinking of introducing to this aquarium. It's a big fish, but this is a big tank, and I think it's going to be awesome as well. That is it. Thank you for watching, and I try to post these videos weekly, so next week is going to be some other topic. Let me know in the comments below what you think of kind of my current selection, if there's anything I can do better, differently. I appreciate your suggestions, as this helps me get on top of the tank. Oh, and I will probably bring my copper band back. I was able to catch him the last one, and I'll do a whole video on what's going on with my copper band, because it's kind of I think it deserves its own episode. Cheers.